Welcome to my book launch. Yes, I have written another book, and I am so excited to just share what I feel is on God's heart in concerning this book. First of all, I kind of want to go through the journey of writing this book, because it's not an easy task. It's like everybody, wants to write a book, or they have a story or whatever, and that is just half the battle. But I'm gonna totally go back to how it all began. I was just laying in the bathtub, soaking, and all of a sudden, it was like God just downloaded a whole story to me. I grabbed my phone, I get out of the bathtub, I grab my phone and I start like writing on my notes and jotting down all these ideas, because it was like just, not the full on thing, but I was seeing it like in my head, like a movie. And I knew this was God, and I had to, totally, I didn't want to forget any of the little details that the Holy Spirit was revealing to me. So I did that, and within 5 days, I had 11 chapters written. And I'm not saying it was in its entirety. There's a lot of editing that needs to be done, and you want to make sure it flows well and it's a good read for the audience. And I feel that the audience that this book is geared for, it's for everybody, don't get me wrong, but I really feel that it's geared to the young people, to the teenagers and young adult, because what it is it's raising an awareness. And if we can save another life through somebody reading this book and it just being raw and put out in front of them. Yes, it's a fictional story, but it's very true to life. And I made sure of that, because it was like when I was writing things down, the Holy Spirit was giving me things. I'm like, okay, I want to make sure that, this is actually like realistic. So I did some research about it, and it's about a fentanyl addiction. So I was finding out like a lot of what the Holy Spirit was showing me, it was realistic and it was true. And I didn't want someone to read it and be like, oh, this is so far-fetched, and it not be effective, because I want this book to be effective. So as I was doing research, I was coming across videos. It breaks my heart. And that's why I feel like such an urgency to get this book launched out. I have 10 copies that I have ordered, but they're not coming until October 27th, 30th, something like that. I'm like, I'm not waiting. I do have some copies, and as you see, it says not for resale. That's the author copy to proof it. And the first one was not up to my standards. The second one was not up to my standards. So finally I got it how I wanted to get it, but like I said, they are in order. So anyway, let's go back. As I was doing research and I was coming across these videos, I was seeing like 15-year-old, 17-year-old, 32-year-old, and it says they're forever that age. That means they OD'd on fentanyl or some other type of drug. God's really, really zeroing in on fentanyl, though. I think this is really on God's heart, because as I was, seeing that sometimes it was just a football injury that someone had, and they had painkillers. Well, the painkillers became an addiction, and next thing you know, they're doing harder drugs and they're addicted. And next thing you know, they are no longer living. This is unacceptable. So that's why I really feel an urgency to get this book out. Another video that God was showing me, I don't know if you're familiar with Kensington, Philadelphia, but this place heartbreaking. It's like, you know how you see videos in third world countries and you see the children and there's flies on them, and you know their malnutrition and things like that? Well, that's how this is right here in America, because they have bowed down to addiction. That's exactly what it is. It's demonic. These videos that I saw, I don't know if you've ever heard of fentanyl fold. Well, there's a drug, it's called Tranq, and it all of a sudden when it hits it kicks in your body, it's like your body just folds. And they are literally folded, just standing there, folded. It's like in a trance. And to me, that's like bowing down to this drug. And that's why I say this is demonic and it has to be stopped. And I would cry out to the Lord. I'm like, what can I do? I don't live in Philadelphia. You know, I don't know if this is happening in Toledo. You know, if you know something, let me know. If there's something going on like that right around where we're at. But for now, I really felt like he was giving me this story so that it could raise up an awareness of how easily addiction can happen. There's a saying that goes with fentanyl, one pill kills. It's true. There's so many people, they thought they were taking a Percocet, which I do not condone, don't get me wrong, but they thought they were taking a Percocet, but it was laced with fentanyl, and they never woke up. And they're just a teenager. Another girl, she went to a boyfriend's house and he offered her a pill. Never woke up. And then they get scared, so they don't call 911, and there's no way to revive these people. So that's why I want to come on here and I want to share this book. This book, I'm just going to show you this. It's not perfect. It's I don't like this little black line, so I think I got rid of it. And then I did another one without the black line, but it's not centered. So like I said, there were a couple fails. But anyway, this is Mia. The book is about Mia. And when God gave me the book, he gave me her name, Mia. And then he told me, look it up. And when I looked it up, it means beloved. I mean, there's so much to this book. He gave me, see, I don't know if you can really see this book cover, but he gave this to me in a vision. And I was like, well, I don't know how to do this. So I contacted somebody that I know who does book covers and brochures and things like that. And she gave me a quote. And it was a little steep, but that's the going rate. I get that, but I'm just talking for my benefit. That was a little steep. But I'm like, okay, but if you want me to do this, Lord, then just provide the money and we'll go forward that way. So one day I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see this. I see somebody bent down like this, totally distraught. And then next, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, and all of a sudden, restored. And it was like an illustration. It was a drawing. So I was telling my family about, like, do you think that this is something that somebody can do? When I had that in my head. And, you know, my kids are a little bit more tech savvy than I am. So they're like, well, yeah, I think so. And so when I saw that, I showed them. I said, look at this picture. They're like, what? That's what you were talking about. I'm like, I know. So I just felt like another confirmation about this book. First of all, he gives it to me like a movie. Then he gives me her name. And then when I find out what it's about, and then you'll see what it means in the story. But, and then the book cover, he gave that to me. And so what I did is I took that very simple illustration, I put it on AI and I said, make this look more realistic. And I'm not saying it was easy. I'm not saying I got it done within an hour. It was a lot of trial and error. Sometimes, yeah, I don't know. When you're dealing with AI, they just totally all of a sudden change everything. So anyway, got the book cover, and I was really pleased with it. But it was horizontal, so it was landscape. So I had to make it portrait. And when I made it portrait, then I no longer had the name and my name on there. So then I had to get that all taken out care of. But anyway, that's just the process when it came to the book cover. But there was just so much that it was like, I was like, you want me to write this story? It's like a novel. It's like a novella because it's so short. It's I think it's 81 pages. 78 pages. So it's very short, but it's quick pace because, like I said, it's for young adults. They don't want to read anything. They want it in their face, like do like that. So that's how the book was written. Do. It wasn't like long, strong. It's colorful. Don't get me wrong, but it's fast paced. It's very fast paced. And I also put it in 16 font for those who don't really like to read or have trouble reading. And I put it on a cream paper instead of a white paper because I read that that's a little bit easier on the eyes. So those are some pluses about the book. And the book is available already on Amazon. I can send a link with this, but also if you go to Restored and you put my name, Tracy Burrows, it'll pop up. So it's $9.99. If you have Amazon Prime, it's a bonus because then you don't have the shipping cost. And I think you would probably get it a little bit sooner because don't forget, these have to be printed and then shipped. So I'm not quite sure about the turnaround on that, but I do know that the shipping, Amazon Prime does cover that if you have it. So that's a saving, a cost saving. But it's a great story. It really is, and it's an easy read. The very first person, my mom, I sent to, within an hour, she's like, that was great. I'm like, oh, wow, you read it already? And she's like, oh, yeah, I was so excited to read it. And it was just quick. It was a quick read. So I'm just giving you the particulars about the book, but it is a great story. It is so good, and of course, it's about hope. Because Mia, she gets caught up in a fentanyl addiction. She was involved with youth group, and she lived for God. But an accident happened. And through that accident, she blamed God. And instead of turning to God for help, she turned away from God. And she just spiraled down. But get this. There's a praying mother. How many praying mothers out there are praying for your kids? This is full of hope. It's full of hope. She didn't give up on her daughter. And God heard her prayers. And yes, I know it's a fictional story, but it is true to life, and it has been given by the Holy Spirit. So I believe it's anointed. So if you want to get your copy, go on Amazon.com. You can look up Restored, Tracy Burrows, and it'll pop right up. I will also put a link. My old book, I have this on Amazon as well. So you could put dance lessons, Tracy Burrows, and that will pop up as well. So yeah, moving on up, going on Amazon, and I'm excited about this. Please share this. We gotta understand the young people. They gotta know how easily an addiction can come, how easily they could die. It could take their life. One pill can kill, and they talk about let's raise up an awareness. And that's exactly what this book does. And don't be so quick to judge. If you see somebody like that, they've got a story. There's a reason why they're addicted. Everybody has a story. I've heard so many stories. There's some awesome people out there who go to Kensington on the streets and they help. They give water, they give food, because some people, they don't want help. They offer help, but a lot of people don't want help. And they interview them. And these people are real and they have a story. So many people were aging out of the foster system, and were on the streets. What's on the streets? Drugs are on the streets. How were you able to deal with what is on the streets? Drugs. They take drugs. And then you're so easily addicted. You know, in this character, she got easily addicted. God was there to help her, but she turned away from God. So please get the book. Share it. Share this video. You got young people, buy it for them. It's only $10. What's $10? It's a cup of coffee, Starbucks, right? So please just do what you can to raise up an awareness. Don't be so quick to judge. Moms, be encouraged, because God hears your prayers and there's always hope. And let's do something, even if it's just this book for now. I just feel like it could be a breakthrough, because when those videos that I'm watching, they're barely living. I watched one video. It was horrible. This woman was laid out on the sidewalk, out. Flies were all over her. Yeah, she was breathing. Jesus came to give life, abundant life. Jesus came to set the captives free. These people are held captive by this. They are bowing down like it's a god. And it's unacceptable, because Jesus came to set them free. So let's raise up an awareness. Let's do what we can do. Let's not judge. Let's offer, hey, you matter. I'm sorry if nobody told you that you are important. So many of them have stories like this during that interview. They're like, yeah, I just feel like I'm all alone. My family left me. They've got kids. They never see their kids. Sad. Very, very sad. But we're going to do something about it. And this is the beginning. This is the beginning. Restored. Restored. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for coming to my book launch. And like I said, please share this and have a wonderful day.